You say distrust of government. It feels like even though we've been talking about the Jeffrey Epstein files, the larger umbrella here is mistrust in government. The idea that the government is not being transparent, it's hiding things, it's protecting people who have more power than the average American. That feels like the central focus here. One of the things that Republicans have said about Democrats during the entirety of the Epstein, week, 2 weeks that we've seen so far, is where were Democrats on this during the Biden years? What would you say to them?
Well, I was.
Granted, you weren't here.
I wasn't elected, but I think the chips need to fall where they may. There are allegations that Bill Clinton, a Democrat, was involved. Jeffrey Epstein, of course, was a major donor to Democrats. So if there's Democrats involved, you know what? If they actually committed any kind of major crimes, including pedophilia and statutory rape, they should be held accountable. But the whole point of the rule of law is that it should apply to everybody equally. You shouldn't get one set of rules for the rich or the powerful, or for Republicans versus Democrats. This is what we see in banana republics. And I have a lot of immigrants in my district who fled from places where authoritarians were taking control, and they're scared because they used to see this exact thing happen. So we need to enforce the rule of law for everybody equally. That's just a basic principle of any democratic society.
I think the last thing I want to get you on is redistricting has become a hot term in the last few weeks because Trump and Republicans are pushing Texas to redistrict at a point where they wouldn't normally be redistricting in an effort to try to shore up the House Republican majority. In California, the governor has said, you do that in Texas, we'll do that in California. I mean, what do you make of this tit for tat that actually has massive ramifications on how people are represented in Congress?
It would have massive ramifications for my district. Totally. I don't know what my district might look like.
And you're in a frontline district as it is.
It was one of the closest elections in the country last year. So we're prepared for a re-election in the district I was elected to represent. Obviously, the redistricting is out of my control, but I understand the frustration that many residents of places like California feel when we see people like Donald Trump, when we see Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, openly talking about how they're going to cheat and game the system to try to keep control of the House in very problematic, maybe illegal ways. I think people are fed up right now with just the sense that there's one set of rules that apply to us and one set of rules that apply to Donald Trump and Republicans. So I get it. And if they're going to cheat, I think, as I said before, I think Democrats need to stop bringing a butter knife to a gunfight. If Republicans are going to try to gerrymander 5 states, as they're talking about, maybe states like California, New York, controlled by Democrats, maybe they need to consider all options here because democracy is on the line, and that's the background here. Every time Donald Trump gets away with another major violation of the Constitution, he gets one step closer to eroding our democracy, and there's not that many institutions left to stop him from just completely eroding and destroying the things that we all hold dear right now.
Yeah, and I think the redistricting thing doesn't get enough credit for the role that it played in a place like North Carolina in the last election, where Democrats were redistricted out of 3 seats there. Now, that was at a point where census data, that's the natural point for states to redraw their lines. That's what makes this instance so different. But I think that you're right to point out the tit for tat that's going on and why people might not be trusting of the system.
Absolutely.
For now, we'll leave it there. Democratic Congressman Dave Min of California, who had a late night in the House because why can't y'all do business during